What is up, everybody? Thursday night in the pit, episode 100. It's just never thought. Who would have thought would have made it this far, guys? Not me. That's for damn sure. But as y'all know, we've done 100 of them, so y'all know what we do. So let's get it going. And let's bring in Numero Dos. What's up, man?
Happy 100th episode, bro.
Thank you.
Crazy how time flies.
Like almost over 2 years, yeah.
Man,
it's almost over 2 years, yeah. Because we had some breaks. That's why the math doesn't add up. But we started in January of 2020, I believe was the beginning.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
No, you're not. You're right.
100 episodes. And I think Matthew's watched 99 of them.
Man.
Like, I really think he's the one that's watched more than anyone.
Wonder.
Yeah.
One.
I think Matthew definitely deserves a shout out. He's definitely watched more episodes than anyone besides me. Even though technically I don't think I've ever watched any episode. I think I've watched one episode, that one that I had to sit out.
That's right.
And when Numero Dos took over and kicked me out.
We got a ton of good stuff to talk about too. It'll be a nice 100 episode as well.
Yeah, so we're gonna, like we said, we'll have some match graphics for PPW show coming up too.
Oh yes,
we're gonna do that. But let's bring in the rest of the crew. We'll start with Mr. Elin Godonable.
How's it going, guys? Happy 100th episode! Congratulations!
Thank you.
We made it.
We did it, man.
Syndication, here we come.
I don't know how that would work. They'd be like, "What the fuck are they talking about?" Shit that happened 2 years ago. Yeah, the way wrestling goes, it'll probably make sense again because it just recycles. Well, someone else has been along for. Oh, maybe not. Okay, I thought we had another person, but he popped out.
Man,
so
that guy's a loser.
So we'll just roll along.
Well, let me interview you, Josh, for a second. It's the 100th episode. Let's talk. You know, like we're all familiar with the pit. We're old, medium, and new members of the pit here. What would you say some of your favorite memories of the pit are?
Man, I think it's. I mean, let's bring in. He's back.
Hi, what's up?
Hello.
I don't know what's happening, but
he's driving. That's what's going on. He's driving.
Yeah.
But the camera's not working. Hold on. I gotta take him out. That didn't work. Favorite moments besides that one we just had right now?
Yeah, what are some memorable moments from the pit that we had?
I mean, it's funny, but I think like the one I always circle back to is the very first episode. I mean, having the newly crowned NWA Women's Champion as your first guest right after she won the title and had the actual title on the show. Like, that's still been a tough act to follow. You know what I mean? That was episode 1. So that's a pretty good one, you know, like that's pretty epic. I mean, we've had a lot of fun, you know, we've had award shows, we've had our show crashed by shitty managers. We've had, you know, interactions, people time out, you know, all that fun stuff that we do. But the guests, I mean, I think that's some of the guests that we've had have just been awesome. I mean, they've all been awesome, but those are the memorable moments. And just the fun, you know, I think it's been a good time by all.
One of my favorite moments or most memorable moments is actually doing the pit at my mom's house when we had snow last year. And if it wasn't bad enough that all of hell had frozen over here, nobody had power. We had John Murdoch that week, and it was our second attempt to have John Wayne Murdoch, or maybe even third. So we were not really trying to lose that.
Our third try.
Yeah, so it was funny because I was just there at my mom's house, like, and I just kept thinking to myself, like, it's like I'm in my mom's basement doing interviews with my friends. It's like I'm a kid again.
That was pretty cool. And of course, John Wayne Murdoch was one of the top guests I think we've ever had. I enjoyed all our interviews. I like getting to know these people, but you know, a little bit. We pull the curtain back a little bit.
Right.
What's up, Numero Uno?
What's up,
happening,
man? Finally able to come back.
Yeah, you picked a good episode to come back. 100 episode. 100. We made it.
Yes.
Come a long way.
We sure have. So, what else? Let's get to. It's enough of reminiscing. I think we can get to. I don't really like being interviewed. I like doing the interviewing.
I mean, a million of angels ranting and screaming on a few of these episodes that I've seen that had me dying before I joined you guys. So,
yeah,
Angel's psycho. Angel is in the best way. I mean that in the best way. Like he gives us some of the best content that we've got. But man, he is insane.
Yeah, I mean
because he doesn't like evil. That's my only complaint. I don't care about anything else. That is the most psychotic, crazy shit I've ever heard of. You don't like evil? You've got to be a serial killer.
Yeah, when Evil joined Bullet Club, and that was like a rocket ship for his ranting. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Hey Mel. But yeah, he shared the video. I mean, he pointed to the exact moment of the part when he starts ranting, and I was like, dude, you gotta calm down. Eventually, you have to get over this. Just relax.
Yeah.
And then last week was just like the icing on the cake where he just kept going and going. I was like, man.
And I see a lot of people giving us congrats too. I guess I should show y'all love. I was just gonna say thank you from everyone, but
thanks for y'all. Thank y'all for being with us.
There's no way it would make 100 without people watching it. You know what I mean? Like if y'all weren't watching every week,
Franco, shout out to Franco.
Yeah.
Ooh woo.
Yep. And I think that was my episode with him dropped this week too.
Yeah.
He interviewed me.
Check it out.
Yeah, I was on their show. I was one of the guests.
For y'all that aren't familiar, Franco was huge in getting us on Spotify and like podcasts for that long time that we were not a podcast.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, y'all are the best podcast. And so we finally were just like, hey, we'll be a podcast. And Franco was like, yeah, man, be a podcast. Let me help you. So
he just reached out and said, hey, I'll make y'all a podcast. So we're like, okay, cool. Thank you. We don't know how to do that. we don't even really know how to do this.
Right. Like not to toot our own horn, but I don't think that we ever thought we would be on Spotify. I never thought we'd be on Spotify. I just thought we would just be sitting here talking BS.
I know. So I have, at my shoot job, some people ask because I always talk about the show and they're like, hey, where we can find you? And then they searched it and they started listening to it. They're like at the warehouse. And I was just like, this is kind of crazy. So then like the next weeks they come in on Fridays and they're like, hey, we listened last night. It's on Spotify and all this. It's like, what? Like, it's just crazy to me that people come and, tell me about, they actually listen and enjoy it.
Oh yeah. Cheers to that.
Crazy to me. 100 episodes.
Well, let's talk wrestling.
Yeah, we'll do the PPW stuff somewhere along the way.
You want to do PPW now?
Well, we did kind of say it, and we usually do.
We have so many people watching right now. Do PPW now.
Match announcements, and then my screen just froze. Of course it would.
Oh, don't do it now then.
Let me see. So we'll do it now if I can get this thing to move. Screw that then. So we know the main event. So we can start with that one if it loads.
The main event being that's the champ versus champ match.
Yeah, and my whole screen is freezing.
Man, technology.
100 episodes, we still don't know what we're doing. Yep.
We used to have an intro.
Oh, we used to have all kinds of things back in the day. So there it is. The one that we all knew was happening. I know it's the main event. We should have done it last, but I'm going to do it first because it's the one that everybody knows is happening. Yeah, champ versus champ. We're going to finally see who's the champ. Like, who's the one that has the right to... Because they both say they're the real ones. I'm the PPW champ. Yeah. Go ahead.
They're both champs. Why not fight?
Yeah. I mean, that's how we just decide things. You know what I mean? PPW. In the ring. So Maddie thinks she's the champ. Chandler thinks he's the main champ. The true champ, my champ. So I said, well, y'all want to find out?
They're arguing over the importance of the titles because if you think about it, Maddie was the first champ.
Mm-hmm.
And Chandler is the champ, is what he says. And it's time. They're both just saying, well, you know what? Let's put it on the line. Let's see who the real top champ is at PPW.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the way to find out. We're just going to, I mean, they've had the stare down. They had the promos. Maddie tried to get the best of him. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting. And then another match that we'll announce here is Khan will be in the building against the returning Matthias Suarez, the Lucha Medic. I kind of heard through the grapevine that they both wanted. They've been wanting this match. Even Khan had actually been saying he's been wanting this match. So
I love that Khan is in Texas right now. Like we've talked for a long time. We've talked for a long time about the Texas chapter, like turning the page with a lot of our stars being signed to the big leagues. And Khan is such a huge replacement piece for us right now. Like if you have not had the chance to see Khan wrestle, you need to be watching Khan wrestle. I mean, honest to God, live on TV, anything like this guy is a huge deal in our scene right now. And this is a hell of a matchup too.
Yeah, and Matthias Suarez, I'm saying, like if y'all haven't seen him, I mean, like I said, he's the lucha medic because he's actually is a medic, so he doesn't get to work as much as other talent gets to because he works a lot because he's actually a medic. But he's an amazing talent, and I think this is gonna, like Franco said it here, that's about to be match of the night.
Definitely has potential.
Yeah, so that's pretty epic. There's the 4-way. For this will be crowning the tag team champions. Royal Taxation versus Team Hybrid versus Thoracic Express. Team Hybrid, of course, is returning because they've worked PPW shows. Royal Taxation, of course, has been on all the shows. Nastico, I've mentioned that I told him to bring a team. Of course, he's not going to tell us what team because he's a chicken shit little bitch. So that is it. And then Thoracic, former GCWA tag team champions. They've been part of PPW as well. So we figured we've always done multi-talent matches to crown our champions.
Absolutely.
We had a 4-way that turned into a 5-way for the women's. We had a melee for the Mosh Chingon, triple threat for the men's championship. So I figured, why not? Let's just do a fatal 4-way tag team match. So what do y'all think of these?
I think this is a good lineup. I think the thing you have to worry about is who Nastico's bringing. That's my biggest concern.
Yeah, it's just like I said. Of course, he's not going to say who he's bringing. Who knows? Because, like I said, he's a chicken shit little bitch that only knows how to sneak up on people, or talk shit in Facebook, or jump into the comments. So we'll see. So there we go.
I'm kind of with Franco on that one. I think Royal Taxation wins that one. Sorry, you flipped, but my bad. I think
it's all good.
My pick to win that one is Royal Taxation. That's where my vote's at.
I mean, that's whenever I did a live a few months ago talking about how it was going to be, and a lot of people thought the same. So I said, well, then I guess we definitely make sure they're in the match, so that to see if it, because that's who they wanted to see. So we'll see. And I just want to see them get their ass kicked, because they're always fucking up our shows too. They try to, especially in the Mosh Chingon, which now we're at the Mosh Chingon. If y'all remember how the melee went, like, basically Royal Taxation gifted the title to Bryce and Scott, at that match. So let's see if they can win their own thing. So yeah, so I did been in contact with him, and he's issuing, the customary open challenge at a PPW show. The stipulation will be first blood.
Nice.
So we're gonna have a first blood match at PPW for the Mosh Chingon title.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it'd be now like, so who do you like? Now we got to wonder who's gonna answer the open challenge, because that's the whole. A lot of Texas talent, and you never know who's going to come through that curtain.
I had a guess, but I also know that person is not going to show up. So,
really?
Yeah, because you've got him on the card.
Oh, who was going to be your guest?
No, I'm not going to. No. I'm not going to steal your thunder.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not going to steal your thunder. I'll just have to get a new guest. My Sky de Lacrimosa would be another good one to show up for this. I'd love to see Bryson's face when Sky walks through the door. Aaron Mercer answering this challenge. I mean, we just had a huge heavy metal death match tournament. Death match no ring show. Not a tournament.
You talking about this guy?
That guy. First blood right there. You really never know. Like that's. I'm ready for this one. I love a stipulation. I love a gimmick. I love the machine gun title.
Oh, this motherfucker. I guess I said his name too many times. Chicken shit.
Yeah.
Chicken shit little bitch. Wouldn't tell us what team he's bringing.
Yeah, tell us what team you're bringing to PPW, you dummy. Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah. Crowley versus Dread. I mean, I think that's going to be Khan Matthias Suarez is going to be a great match, but I think this one's going to be, and it's fitting to be called the return as well, because these are basically kind of new gimmicks and new. Crowley's coming back from injury still. I mean, he's worked a little bit.
Right. Crowley's kind of evolving in his gimmick as well. The Cult of Crowley is not a thing anymore. It's evolving much like we see talent do. You've got to change on the indie scene, let it grow. So, and we know Crowley had that injury a little while back, so he had to take a little bit of time off as well.
Yep.
So in the return, obviously you come back with some real demons.
Yeah.
And Crowley's.
And like I said, Drew Dredd is, formerly, Drew who was part of PPW every show.
Yeah.
So now this is kind of his reinvention and returning as in a new, different kind of whole vibe to him too. Like this idiot said here. I mean, he does have a new side, obviously. It's a new name too. Yeah. So that's that one. And then here's the one for you.
That was who my guess was going to be to answer the machine gun title.
People have been wanting him to come to PPW. Josh Ramirez has been since day one.
PPW for so long. We've been screaming for it. We've been rooting for it. We're huge Bear Fighter fans in the pit. This one, Josh Ramirez, God love him. I'm with Dimitri on this one.
Well, we knew that was going to be. I mean, he's a former pit guest as well, so everybody knows.
Both of them are.
Yeah, but I mean, Josh has been a PPW.
True.
He was part of the first show where he answered an open challenge and went over and got the victory too. So that's
true. That's true.
Very cool. So that's the graphics. I think that's all of them. Yeah, that's all of them.
Is that all the matches, or you think you got an ace in the hole?
There'll be a couple more, but those are the ones.
You're in a new venue this time around, right?
Exactly. We'll be debuting at the Boys and Girls Club in Kingsville, which they've kind of opened the doors to us and kind of given us free reign. It's kind of going to be the permanent home of PPW for the foreseeable future. They've given us open calendar for whatever dates we want, and I mean, there's been a great relationship. And then plus, it's they're going to raise money and it helps the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
And the question that I've been getting the most, so I want to make sure that I address, is there still will be beer for sale at the Boys and Girls Club, because that's how we roll at PPW. So everyone's like, they're going to sell beer at the Boys and Girls Club? It's like, yes. At a PPW show, yes. We began the process of the Boys and Girls Club obtaining a beer and wine license whenever we started this negotiation, because that's how we do things at PPW. We make Boys and Girls Club sell beer.
Yeah.
What a great partnership. And why does Nastico keep blowing up the comments like we're going to give a shit about what he's saying?
Nobody cares what you're saying.
Will Charlie be there? How many tats do I have?
Will Charlie be there? That was a good question.
Of course.
I was going to ask to go. He's probably going to hit him from behind. Ooh, I like that.
It's the only way he could beat him either. It's the only way he could take him down too, because otherwise Charlie would whip his ass too. Just like all the other kids at the shows that Nastico's at, freaking pop him in the eye. Yeah, find out. Cool, man. So yeah, that's PPW, man. That's coming up April 23rd. Tickets are already on sale. Get your tickets. Don't miss out. The return. So what else we got going on in the world of wrestling? Nobody seems y'all being very quiet today.
No, we're just letting you talk PPW, bro.
No, we're done. PPW.
Well,
we'll talk a lot about more when we get closer. I mean, it's over 2 months away. So.
I'm willing to go first.
Rock and roll.
So I'm going to drop two pieces of really, really tough, let me drop something that's actually breaking in the deathmatch community, and that is that over the weekend it was revealed by a fan, and then other fans corroborated similar stories that none other than G Raver has been himself Me Too'd straight into the 7th level hell. Just accusations of being mentally, physically abusive, sexual deviant at shows, on drugs, stealing from friends. Issues came up over the weekend that happened again, or actually a couple weekends ago, and it's just caused everything to come to light. So that's probably the last we're going to see of G Raver or even Chi. I hope you get some help. It sounds like dude really needs some shit. He didn't. His response back was basically to own it and also try to downplay it and kind of like attack his attacker on Twitter, which was really just a way to dig yourself another 2 or 3 feet of hole. It's really unfortunate. So this is my one thing that I want to put out there, because we see this a lot, and it kind of comes up, and this is my miniature rant leading to my major rant. And that is that, like, it really has come a time for fans to be better than this as well. You hear a lot about you hear a lot about wrestlers be better and make the scene better and make it safer. And I get that. But there's also a lot of fan enabling shit too. And let me just tell you, I'm not talking about people at shows as much as I'm talking about people on the internet. Like, when people come out and put their story out, you just need to let them say it. This whole thing about, like, oh, it's probably false allegations, it's probably this, it's probably that. Like, I have a real serious argument. We've lost just about 0 wrestlers to false things like that. Like, there's far more predators in the world than there are people getting caught up in the mix. Like, if the truth is the truth, that'll come out to light, and it has. And in those situations, those people have not been punished. And no, I'm not talking about Velveteen Dream, because even though what he did was not to the extent that it was, he was talking to a minor. Like, that's just not something you should be doing as an adult. It's not something you should be doing as a public figure. So at the same token, internet fans need to be better. We are a huge problem, and we're such a huge problem that Vince McMahon himself called us out this evening on the Pat McAfee show. Yep. And it's really sad to see someone come out and have the guts to stand up and say, okay, many of you need to understand that you're at a show and you're near a predator that will hurt you. He hurt me. He hurt others. And the people G Raver hurt, they are not nobodies. So that means that there's probably a lot more people out there that G Raver hurt. The people that G Raver hurt were very well known members of this community, which tells you that, like, that was the brazenness of this dude. Like, just right on the open, didn't matter. So that's the thing. My message is to internet fans, say, like, y'all got to be better. Like, there has to be a standard, because the reality of it is, if we're rooting for somebody that's a piece of shit, that guy's got to go. Like, if you would not want to live next door, or leave your kid around, or leave yourself around a person, you probably shouldn't be defending them so that they can be around other people. That's just my rant there. Be better, fans. Stop shit talking people that are coming out with these actual problems that they're having. Yeah, it's going to happen. That's the reality of the world we live in.
Sadly, yep.
Which leads me down the control your narrative avenue. So, as we all know, control your narrative is just building up to be quite the absolute fucking shit show that it's always been. Hey, can you shut this door, please, if that's what you're going to do? Sorry. So Austin Aries is booked for Control Your Narrative, which makes me fucking just absolutely dumbfounded in the first place, because the first thing that I said was Austin Aries is a problem. He's proven that in every organization he's been in. There's a reason that nobody of reputation really and truly wants to work with that guy. Yeah. Now you have a company that's run by a polarizing character like EC3, picking up a guy like Braun Strowman, who's also been a little bit weirdo in the offseason, signing on guys like Jackson Riker. Come on over, bring your weirdo fucking Republicans stuff. Not Republicans, but the left. I don't know politics, but them crazy. It's just already building up to be wild. And then they booked Austin Aries. And this week, somebody made an accusation that once saw Austin Aries, a girl in the locker room who was a fan. And I don't think she was underage, but she was of youngish nature. kissed his nuts in front of everybody, leaned down and kissed his package in front of the locker room full of fans. And Austin Aries' response was to not only validate this, but blame her. He said, well, yeah, it happened, but the thing about it is, like, that just shows that she shouldn't have been there to begin with. The locker room's supposed to be a place for cheer people, blah, blah. I don't know what he said verbatim. It was pretty much she showed that she was not mature enough to be in that situation by kissing my nuts. So just keep that in mind. Like, that's who you enable. Like, when y'all root for Austin Aries and y'all think that it's a fucking cool shit and like this, it's a talent and it's this, that guy is an absolute level 9 piece of fucking shit to begin with, and he has no respect for the wrestling business whatsoever.
At all.
He no-sold a main event, Slammiversary,
Pay-per-view, yeah.
Impact,
Title match.
WrestleMania. I mean,
he's in the NWA right now too. He's in that
it's
World
so
Junior
bullshit.
title.
Every single one of you is trying to cash in on what little bit is left. And I'm just so sick of seeing guys like Austin Aries show up because it's kind of like Joey Ryan, you know, like that shit was hiding in plain fucking sight. It was right there in front of everybody's faces, but it was a gimmick, right? It was a gimmick, and it had everybody fooled. It took like this fragile curtain, and everybody except my boy Juan, everybody
I was gonna say,
you know what I mean? Like,
he warned us.
I feel the exact same way about Austin Aries. This guy has confessed to being a piece of shit. He's now downplayed openly on Twitter sexual assault. Like, it's just absolute bullshit. He doesn't even understand. He doesn't get it. And you book him, people book him, and he comes to shows and fans defend him, and it's crap. Because I'm gonna tell you this, he's not even that great of a fucking wrestler. I don't give a shit what you say. It blows my mind. He's Jeff Jarrett category to me, but he's just a huger piece of shit than that. And that's my fucking rant about it. Austin Aries is now, always was, always will be a big piece of shit. And if I catch you rooting for him on the internet, it's going to change my perspective of you as a person.
But how do you really feel?
Hey,
that's what I thought.
And I'll say what I want because I've screamed that shit at Austin Aries at shows. I've yelled shit to his motherfucking face at shows. I don't like the guy. He's toxic. He's a toxic individual. He's broken the fourth wall of wrestling. He's endangered fans. He has shit-talked companies when he's not been successful. Like, he got like 20 titles. Like, that's how much people were stuck in Austin Aries' dick. He had like 10 or 12 titles at once. And then what did he do? As soon as people started taking him away, he got mad. He
took his ball and went home in the middle of the fucking thing.
And he's not even going to put you over. Like, there's no way he can put you over. He doesn't want to, and he's not going to stay in the organization long enough on good terms to give you the rub. It doesn't make any fucking sense why any person in this world wants that dude around.
Just like you were saying, that's why it baffled me that Billy Corgan of all people is booking Austin Aries at NWA shows. So
it's a risk. If you don't give him his way, it's going to be a problem. Like, whether it's your safety as a fan or your fucking safety as a booker or your safety as a company that promotes him, like, the second that guy doesn't get what he wants, he's going to be upset, and he's going to be upset in a bad way. He's going to do damage. He's done damage everywhere he's been. And I agree. It
even on national television on Impact, like years ago, when Christy Hemme botched his name because they say it was a different team. He got then she had to fix, and then Austin Aries climbs the ropes, and his dick's like right in front of Christy Hemme's face, and Christy Hemme was like appalled by it. She's like, "What the fuck?"
On television,
on live television.
Yeah, that was on.
There's a clip of it. There's a clip of it, and it's pretty fucking degrading. Like, and I get it, guys. Like, there was a time in the world where like that was socially acceptable. Like, we weren't like, and I don't care about how y'all feel about this word, but we weren't woke enough yet to understand the damage that type of shit is really played towards other people. This was not in that time frame. Like, this was at a time where you should be respecting a ring announcer. Like, you should be respecting anyone, but like, this was a ring announcer, and this person is unsafe in the ring. That's huge to me. That's huge. Anytime any of your talent is unsafe, that should be a problem to you. I mean, you're already in wrestling. They're already going to go out there and like throw each other around the fucking room and hit each other with chairs and shit. Like, you really don't need Austin Aries in the back, you know, trying to touch people, trying to fucking downplay shit. And he's not even that good of a wrestler. He's not. and he's gonna have to win. Think about that.
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing is like he won't put anybody over, and if he does, then he's gonna no sell their fucking finish and walk out.
As sad as that's gonna be, if Ring of Honor does another Hall of Fame, and as sad as it's gonna be, like he's gonna end up being that Ring of Honor Hall of Fame because of his accomplishments and shit.
I mean, I get that there's a dollar to be made, but at the same time, like we have to start really thinking about like what we encourage as a fan base and like what we push. Like, look at Scott Hall. Scott Hall's a great example. Scott Hall's entire drinking problem was out there in the open, and people rooted for it. People made fun of it. People like out in the open. And now look at him. That dude is like 63, hurting in all the wrong ways, like fucked up. Like at some point, we have to be able to say like when shit's gone too far, like the entertainment part has to turn off. And for me, a solid line is when a person is no longer doing themselves a favor, or they're doing harm to someone else in the room with them as well. Yeah. And Austin Aries checks all those fucking boxes to me, in my opinion.
And he's a vegan.
Oh, he's vegan too. Like,
yeah, he's a vegan.
I'm sorry, not to make light. I mean, everything you said was really serious, but yeah, he's vegan. Can't trust vegans.
Can't trust Austin Aries.
That's for sure.
Welcome. Hey, cool, change my mind. Change my mind. Come in the pit. Change my mind. Anybody out there, you're welcome to.
Good luck with that shit. Yeah, and then there was probably some wrestling this week too. Like I think probably some people wrestled this week. Any wrestling happened?
Oh, and
we went to Chicago. The
GCW show happened on.
That was sarcasm. Yeah, I know there was
wrestling. GCW
happened. Yeah, how was y'all's trip to Chicago?
Oh man, there's one thing we want to shout out first of all, and listen up, and I'm gonna say it loud and proud. And if you're watching and you're mad, you're mad. I have never been in an arena that had an energy like Galley Lucha in Chicago,
dude. Yeah.
When and I'm sorry, Loco, you're number two. You're number two. Like that shit was insane, and we did not expect this. You did not expect the Barachos go to 2 deathmatch shows and come back talking about the Lucha show.
That says a lot.
Yep.
That says a lot.
They booked strong talent. Their audience was huge. People brought drums. I'm talking like marching band drums. And at first you're like, okay, whatever. But then halfway through the show, there's like 9 drums banging. Everyone's going nuts. They've got like the air horns, the spoon clackers, like everyone's going nuts. They got tacos going on.
So what was the main event? Or what? Tell us about the matches.
Oh my God. The first few matches were just like putting over local talent. You tell them, Juan. You go over it.
Man, that show, like, even though it had some matches with like botches and shit, you know, lucha show.
Yeah,
it was amazing. I enjoyed from the first to the last match. It was just crazy. And then Puma King and Sam Adonis showed up as a surprise. It was it was like the semi-main event, and it was supposed to be a tag team match. No, 2 matches before the main event. So the teams were coming out, and both teams were already there, ready to wrestle. And next thing you know, right by our corner, someone puts a chair, and then next thing you know, I see someone jumping over the rail, and I thought it was a fan, but then I looked, and it was Puma, and Sam Adonis came out too, and they started beating the shit out of everybody. Man, that was fucking crazy. The crowd went nuts. It was fucking amazing.
Bandito came out. Oh my God! When Bandito came out, they were nuts.
That's awesome.
They booked a ton of Lucha Underground talent.
It was a really good show.
Mil Muertes was there. Drago, Aerostar. Well, I mean, he was there as Macias. Mil Muertes was there as Macias. But Aerostar, Drago, Bandito was there. Puma King. Fucking Arrow Boy was there. Ultimo Dragon. Y'all probably heard this guy, Bryce Palmer. The Bryce is right. Bryce Palmer. He's wrestled in Texas. I know he has, but we saw him. He wrestled with Bandito. They had a hell of a match. It was those two versus a couple of local guys, I believe, local big guys, and it was a great match. I mean, just This show was stellar. I was so excited. I was hungover all day. I was literally puking as we were walking out the door to go to this. And I'm still so glad we made it to this show because it was the best. It was worth it.
Yeah.
That makes
He
it
would have
almost
missed out on a really good show if he didn't go to that show.
And we've been to Loco. Y'all all been to Loco. You've seen Loco's energy. And I'm telling you, this was bigger. And it's like no knock. Like this was a Chicago Loco style show. And it's just, you didn't expect
the energy in Chicago at most shows is pretty hot, you know, because I've been to a few. Yeah.
Their wrestling scene is amazing. Like if you ever get a chance to get up there and check it out, you should.
Yeah, it's a different vibe at any show, like any show in Chicago. The crowd is just different, you know.
Yeah.
You always know that even like on the TV shows, on the, you know, the ones that are on TV, you know, whenever they're in Chicago, it's like, all right, we're gonna have a loud fucking crowd, one way or the other, good or bad. It's gonna be fucking loud.
Dude, I love Chicago. Like the couple times we've been, the city's amazing. The people are nice. Like when you go to wrestling, the energy's always great. I love it up there. Like it makes sense why so much pro wrestling runs in that area. It makes perfect sense. It's just a great energy. Fans love it. They show out for it. You would not have expected this show. We literally pulled up next to a Lutheran church and like an elementary school. And when we went inside, it was real shady. And all of a sudden, it was just like lights start coming on. There's wrestling ring. This is over here. People start crowding in. Tons of vendors. Ultimate Dragon was there. Everybody was there. That was crazy to me at first. I just want to interject this one thing. We walked in and there was no line for Ultimate Dragon. And there was a huge line for Bandito. But hear me out, like, because this is my one point, like, because I want to give a huge fucking shout out to talent like this. Ultimo Dragon was charging top dollar for any interaction with him. He charged us $10 just to sign our own posters, and he was going to charge us per poster, which I get it. You got to make your money, and Sonny Ono's in the picture somewhere. Fuck that guy too. Bandito wasn't charging anybody anything for anything. Like they were just walking up. Sign it, got you. Picture, got you. And it's like real big shout out to them because in my opinion, it's 30 years from now, ultimate, like that's Bandito in that chair over there, you know, like he's going to be a long, old legend. And like right now he's top of the game. PWG, you know, Bolo winner, all this crazy shit. Like, and he doesn't even care. Like he's just signing pictures and shit. He's so cool, man. I love Bandito so much.
Good luck to him against Gresham at the Ring of Honor show.
I hope he wins. I really do. I want nothing but because think about this. Let's say Bandito wins and he holds on to the ROH championship. And you also have damn. Never mind, skip me. It's just
yeah, it's worth time out there. You can't be in the middle of a thing and just totally go blank. Come on now. So it's interesting though. So something else happened with Ring of Honor this week. We're talking about Ring of Honor champions. They got purchased, or I don't know what's the right word, but Tony Khan owns Ring of Honor. Yeah, he obtained it, purchased it. I'm sure he spent money. Right before I was gonna put an offer in, he just fucking snaked it right off from under me. People were messaging me like, we need to put together a pool and buy Ring of Honor. Then next thing you know, Tony Khan's in the ring saying he owns Ring of Honor. It's like, well, damn it.
And the library, name, everything, all his.
So I just wonder what that's gonna. Is that the new beginning of Ring of Honor now, or is that the end of Ring of Honor? You know what I mean? Does that just mean he's going to bring Ring of Honor talent into AEW, or now are we going to get? Or is Ring of Honor going to get a TV deal now and be on some kind of whatever family?
I mean, there's a million questions that is going to be asked to Tony Khan, but I mean, I'm hoping that it's a separate thing. But you know,
okay.
All I know is that I mean, it's been a lot of positive response. There's some negative responses, but overall, I mean, it's a big thing. And I mean, and Tony Khan himself said that he's also was a big Ring of Honor fan as well. So, then speaking of Ring of Honor, there's Angel. I guess he wants to talk about this too.
Think about the scenario. think about this scenario.
Okay.
Bandito has the ROH World Championship, right?
Yep.
Versus the working relationship with AAA. You bring in Hijo de Vikingo, and then that would be a perfect feud to bring in Kenny Omega, who never lost that title, as those two kind of fight. You have a lot of working relationships now. I think Bandito stays on top.
Yeah, those relationships are going to be very interesting because technically, not anymore actually. So Ring of Honor had a relationship with CML, but CML cut it off. So thankfully, because CML is the worst run promotion in the world right now.
Don't they still have a relationship with New Japan still?
So that's a curious thing because we saw Ring of Honor guys in New Japan strong, so it makes sense that they both would be there. No, so that was actually the big rumor that was going around. It does appear like there is some steam to it, but maybe at this point, Tony wanted to beef up the video content because I mean you have the wonderful Ring of Honor catalog.
Honor Club too.
Honor Club, yeah. So it's curious. So when all this happened, in my mind, I was like, oh, it makes sense to keep them as two different promotions. But so I was listening to another podcast of some other person, which we will not name, and he brought up a very interesting point that historically, and this is outside of WWE, right? This is just like with whether Jim Crockett or ever just the territory days. Whenever you see another promotion buy another promotion, they always initially try to keep it as two separate things, but then they see that the stronger brand works. So why not just roll it into it and create the same brand? So
basically, they don't want to lose money. Is basically
exactly. So
kills it.
So it's like part of me is like yes, oh that'd be great Ring of Honor by itself, but really in 2022 the Ring of Honor name has been. I mean, is as strong as it's like they weren't getting as many people to their shows as New Japan Strong, as Impact, as GCW. So how strong is the Ring of Honor name by itself? So I don't know what to expect, but I just know is that I'm excited because I mean, at a very minimum, at some point we're gonna get an AEW and Ring of Honor like library together and in a streaming service, which is whether if it's HBO Max. Wonderful, because I pay for HBO Max already. But we'll see.
Comes with my cell phone plan.
I don't actually, well, you know, I do get it from my ex-mother-in-law, so she doesn't know I have her account. She doesn't watch the show. So
I would love to see somebody stream Dynamite and Rampage without me having to have cable. That's super annoying. I literally
so amazing.
have cable
It'll be so amazing.
AEW, and it's pointless because we get a play-by-play in our Barato chat every week. So
yeah, for sure, yeah. Oh, and let me say one thing. Okay, so. Like when the internet was initially made, back in the ARPANET days, you know, and then in the 80s when it became an internet and whatnot, you know, the forefathers of the internet, they wanted to make an open environment to have people, to give everyone a voice, right? To give everyone a voice because they believed that everyone should be heard. That's a fucking lie. Because we have seen many times where it is a mistake, and this has shown full colors why not everyone should have a voice. Matter of fact, not very small amount of people should have a fucking voice because there's some terrible takes out there, especially from you WWE fans. Y'all don't know a single fucking thing about anything other than WWE. But out of nowhere, now you care about Ring of Honor? What? Shut the fuck up. First off, you haven't even watched the show. You don't even know what the fuck it means. You haven't even gone to a show. So you have no fucking voice in any of this matter. So what does it matter to you if Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor? It doesn't fucking matter to you because you're going to keep watching Logan Paul and fucking The Miz and those other bullshit. So shut the fuck up. Don't stop with these terrible takes. Like I saw some dumbass over here fucking saying, is it ironic that these guys buy Ring of Honor after what they did to bury Ring of Honor because of All In? Listen, dumbass. First off, one person bought it, and that was fucking Tony Khan. Second of all, it's not a group, and Tony Khan wasn't involved in the first All In show. So, fuck you, fans. You're the fucking WWE fans. You're the fucking worst. Stay in your fucking lane. Shut the fuck up. Talk to what you know what you talk about. Don't talk about shit you don't know. Fucking assholes. Giving everyone a goddamn voice. Stupid.
Feel better, Angel? You feel a lot better now? Got that out of your chest?
Yes, because you do. Look, listen. I didn't actually get to watch AW, but I went ahead and I watched it. I thank you, man. So I went ahead and I watched a little bit of it. I saw Tony Khan looking super awkward, like he really did coke. Like it looked like he did some damn coke.
Oh,
I'm not
for
gonna lie.
sure.
His facial reactions, like it was super damn awkward.
You know, at least the bright side of that is at least you know that Tony Khan would not be an on-screen character in AEW. No way.
It would be awful, right? So I was in a good mood. I'm like, I woke up in the morning. I was with my girl. I was good. I open up Facebook. I'm scrolling through, and the first fucking 12 things I see is terrible takes from fucking WWE fans. So I was like, fuck off, fucking assholes. Anyways, Ring of Honor, Ring of Honor, AEW. It's a beautiful thing. I'm excited. I want to see what's gonna happen with this show on Sunday. Who's gonna show up? Like, I'm excited to see like the Super Honor show and during WrestleMania weekend. Like, so many fucking things. And the funny thing is, the wrestlers didn't even know that the Ring of Honor wrestlers didn't know that this was happening. This was all kept in the dark.
Well, there wasn't many of them left anyway, though, because
it wasn't exactly. That's why I added
so,
quotation marks, right?
Yeah,
But
so
no.
So they left
I just wonder though.
and Shane Taylor in the dark, huh? That sucks.
Oh no, and then and the Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah,
There's like a million rumors like who's going to be like the booker, who's going to run stuff. Like Samoa Joe, William Regal.
Yeah,
Someone
man.
mentioned Cody Rhodes may actually now come back.
So Meltzer did come out and say he's, of course, everyone's been asking him about that, and he's like, listen, this is not a swerve. He got a better deal somewhere else. He's not going to show up in Ring of Honor. This isn't like, oh hey, he's not in AEW anymore. He's in Ring of Honor, because I thought the same thing. I think that'd be pretty brilliant, but I guess he's not showing up. But
it's not WWE apparently.
I know, right? Hey, he's a stay-at-home dad right now. He's loving life.
Hey, good for him.
With that stupid tattoo on his neck.
To each their own.
Man.
So I wonder. So like we were saying, a lot of people, the value of Ring of Honor and this and that, and now that it's back, can it hold its own? But I mean, now it's going to have the backing of a billionaire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, we're just like already going to just write it off that it's just going to come back as what it was. But I mean,
no, I don't think so at all.
As something totally different.
I'm hoping so. I mean, at a very minimum, a better TV show.
Production alone, I think, would be better than what their stuff has been.
Easily.
Easily. At least in the live events.
I mean, the live events were good, but I was like I never understood how they were owned by one of the biggest TV companies in the world, and somehow it was impossible to find their TV show. I never knew when the shit was fucking on. It never got promotion.
Yeah,
I don't know. Shit.
Yeah, that's one thing. They never promoted Ring of Honor at all.
Yeah, so I think that's going to help them. I mean, because the talent was there, and if they get them back, but then a bunch of Ring of Honor talent kind of just like crash Impact.
Yeah,
they're actually all signed to Impact. So.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Those so like who's like, you know what I mean? We're like, oh well, they just lost their contracts, now they can come back. It's like, yeah, but a lot of those people already went somewhere else now, like Taven and all them. I mean, they're Impact wrestlers now. But then again, so AEW's had a relationship with Impact. I mean, Kenny Omega was their champ. I mean, both had their titles.
I heard like the relationship kind of, but anyway, I'm sure it can be fixed. It works on the worst.
Kenny Omega was their champion.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it's gonna be exciting. It's either way. When we're in exciting times, like this is, fuck.
Like you said, great. All eyes are on this Sunday for their pay-per-view. So.
Yeah.
I have somebody calling me a doofus in the thing, but they're calling me a doofus, but they're not smart enough to click the link to show their name. So at least I know how to work Facebook. Doofus.
Boom. With your 4 fingers.
I don't know who's trying to talk crap. They don't even know how to click the link to show their name on the show, like everybody else does. Anywho,
so since we're talking controversy, JP mentioned this earlier. Talk to us about old Janela in LA.
Oh, our old buddy Joey Janela. Do you want to rant about GCW fans now, Angel?
No. Yeah, y'all talk first.
Well, obviously GCW had their show last Saturday, which is actually a pretty good show. With the up and down card was fine. It was a fun show. Ninja Mac with that ridiculous spot from falling from wherever the hell they were fighting on, going through a door with no gift too. Just splat. I felt so bad for the guy. AJ Gray and ACH had a pretty good match for the
You see what
Extreme
he
title.
has to do to get over now, Angel? You stop talking shit about Ninja Mac. You talked all that shit last week. You said one thing about Ninja Mac, and then you jumped off the top of the LA building.
Hey, but you know what? He's going to WXW. He's going to Germany. So, hey, good for him. So, in your face.
Sure.
Hold on. I'll be right back. The pizza's on.
But everyone's talking about the main event. X-Pac and Janela beating Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, which honestly is not that surprising. But after the match, with X-Pac saying that he's retiring, he's done, this was farewell, and then boom, Janela super kicks in for the nuclear heat in LA. And I was just watching the show, and then they cut it off, and then that's where we got the fan footage of the fans throwing trash at Janela, especially one fan decided to throw a drink right in Janela's face, and Janela snaps, goes after that guy.
Oh yeah,
well,
I know.
Apparently, he's been having some issues too with some other wrestlers in the past, but this actually caused Brett Lardette to actually run from the back to actually separate these guys. That was a pretty big thing for after that show. So, and Janela's even come out saying that if you pay your money, you do that, you're gonna get your ass beat basically. So,
bought the ticket, he took the ride.
Yeah, and it's all led to now Janela and X and Sean Waltman at the spring break now. It's confirmed. So
you can say X-Pac. It's okay.
Oh, X-Pac.
Yeah. So people know what you're talking about, but yeah, Sean
Waltman. The old 1, 2, 3 kid.
Right.
And we got Effie and Minoru Suzuki now.
I like this match. I like this match. People were shitting on Effie for getting this match. They were like, really? That's who you pair up with Suzuki at spring break? But at the same time,
did you see his Twitter? Did you see what he said on Twitter?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Why would Effie
good promo
the match with Suzuki at GC? Like Effie is he's a day oneer with GCW. He's been there for a long time. He does a lot of shit. He has Big Gate Brunch, which ties into GCW. Like Effie is team GCW all the way. Like that's such a good move.
Yeah, Effie's amazing.
Oh, by the way, he's getting he's facing AJ Gray at Atlanta for the Extreme Championship. That was just announced about an hour ago from GCW.
Who, Effie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Title shot.
And for the people that are complaining about Effie getting this, they don't know the full scope of Suzuki. Like we all know the no shit bad, this dude's a bad motherfucker. But he's also at the same time just as much a comedy wrestler. Like this dude, he does it very sparingly, but in his career he's done comedy stuff. Like for those that don't know, watch the Google. I forget who he went against, but just Google Suzuki, empty stadium DDT, where this dude fought one of the DDT guys in an open stadium, and it was nothing but comedy. Like this dude,
wasn't it the owner?
Yeah, it was against the owner of DT. Yeah, and he actually did the whole thing where the spot where he's going inside the ring, but there's no ring there. He's telling a no crowd to start clapping. It was just the most ridiculous nonsense ever. So he's very much well versed, and he just did a dog cage match. So I mean, he's well versed in doing comedy stuff. And I'm not saying he's doing comedy stuff with Effie, but I'm saying he very much changes his style where needs be.
It'll be entertaining.
It's gonna be Effie's entertaining, so it's gonna be entertaining regardless, right?
I mean, even when Effie worked Chino, and Gino's not a comedy wrestler at all, but they even had some moments in the match that made it was comedy.
Of course, it's Effie.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's sense of humor. That's all it is.
Yeah, it is. Oh, so wait, I'm so excited because I walked away. So you guys brought up the Joey Janela situation, right? Okay, so fans. I don't want to keep ranting about fans today, but I never understood why we feel we have to throw shit in the ring. I get we get very passionate. I get it, right? But at no point do I feel I need to throw a glass bottle, a fucking, a beer can, shit like that, because that shit hurts. Have you ever been hit by one of those motherfuckers? That shit fucking hurts. If you're throwing it, you should be taking that shit and see how that feels, because that shit fucking hurts. I got hit before in the head with a beer bottle. That shit sucks. Anyways, we're gonna talk about military days. Yes. So yes, it was. But with that being said, GCW and Joey Janela have brought this on themselves 100%. They have created an environment where last time this happened, they argued with people online, Meltzer, some other fucking people, saying that, oh no, our fans are great. We wanted to throw shit. That shows that they're very, that they're very passionate about it. This is they tell people to do it. So when they do it, and that shit goes bad, oops, it's not on the fucking fans, it's on you. because you fucking told them to go do it. You matter of fact, you embraced it. You said you're passionate because you do that. So don't look at the fucking fans. Look at your fucking self, Joey Janela. Like, don't be a fucking dumbass online and be like, oh wait, oh this is great, and then afterwards be like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of it. Whoever does it, I'm beating the shit out of. Hold on, buddy. It like so like you can't have it both ways. Either you don't want people to do it, or you have people do it and you suffer the consequences. So you're fucking dumbasses.
I like that there's this level of creativity. I like that there's this level of like our fans can, be different and this and that and the other. But we've really crossed the line from the fans being a creative bunch that have a passion into a danger zone. And if you want my honest opinion, I think GCW kind of vindicates every barrier that exists out there. They validate all those barriers that hold the fans back, because it's absolutely stunning that these fans think that, not only can I throw shit like this was pretty egregious. Like, if you watch this video, this fan threw a whole ass beer at Joey Janela's face. But also on the other side of it, to Angel's point, it's kind of shitty that GCW argues like, oh yeah, we have this passionate fan base, but we're also gonna hop out of the ring and kick your ass if you throw water at us or throw beer at us. That's bullshit. Do you want the fans to throw stuff, or do you not want them to throw stuff? I just think it's kind of one of those things that it's probably time for GCW to accept that their fans are mostly Mountain Dewed up fucking 19-year-old kids, and they really can't handle this responsibility of not having that barrier or being to throw shit.
So like, it's okay to throw shit when you're mad at who won the match, but then it's not okay shit. You know what I mean? Because when Cardona won the title, everybody in the whole place threw shit in the ring.
I was surprised about that. That was shocking to me.
Before a year ago, at the beginning of 2021, all the way to the beginning of televised wrestling, how many times can you remember people throwing trash in the ring?
NWO when Hogan turned.
NWO, a couple times. There were a couple of times and it's been allowed. It's happened at GCW shows like 10 to 12 times in the last year alone.
Yeah. You're not.
I think Ring of Honor had something like that too in the back.
And we're not talking streamers. We're not talking positive things that we throw into the ring.
No, legit, like beer bottles.
We're talking negative things, yeah.
Shane made a good point. Shane made a really good point, or it may have been Angel, but shortly after the Cardona, the end of that where they were throwing things, somebody had a picture and a fan threw a pizza cutter into the ring. That was that you. There was actual flying.
There's a video and it highlights it as it's flying.
I mean, there has to be like this line of like, oh yeah, it's cool until like it's not like that. That pizza.
And then who the fuck brings a pizza cutter to a show?
Well, it's GCW. So
GCW, never mind.
Yeah.
No. And hey, Brett Larder, you got enough money to actually fucking afford guardrails for these fans too. So.
Oh, I have a gripe about that. I got a gripe about that. If we got 5 seconds. You have enough fucking money to put pads outside your ring. And that's not for any like that's just my thing is like every single show you book, if not 1, 2 fucking scrambles. You have so many lucha matches, you have so many high flyers, you have a ton of guys going outside the ring. Get some fucking floor mats. Like honestly, I can understand why some promoters don't have them, some promotions don't have them. It's totally fine. But like GCW shows are just hugely like high flyers and all that extra shit. And we've seen so much bad shit happen. Look at G-Raver. G-Raver himself. I know it's a cursed name and now it's like it's bad. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about what happened. They're like, you can switch him out with anybody. There's 100 deathmatch wrestlers that get thrown into barbed wire ropes, right? But those ropes have collapsed, and that's happened multiple times at GCW events. Like GCW set up barbed wire ropes, have given away multiple times, and you have all these lucha scrambles, and you have all these high flyers. You need to get some motherfucking mats because you're not responsible enough with the shit that keeps people inside the ring for you to not have any level of protection outside of it. I think that GCW is honestly one fucking lawsuit away from being no CW anymore.
Right.
Honestly, truly.
Honestly, like how long can they skate that line? You know what I mean?
It really does feel like at every turn. Like I love that GCW is provocative and trying to be new, but at this point it feels forced. It feels like the wheels are starting to fall off and we're kind of ignoring it. Like I watched. Not to get non-wrestling, but I watched a documentary about Boeing the other day, and it talked about how like Boeing was the standard in the 50s and 60s, and then they sold, and this new company didn't care about that. and it just became this point where all of a sudden the gold standard was now like the shit ass end of the stick. And I feel like that's where we're like headed with this. All of a sudden, like it was cool and it was great that it was unique and it was this thing that was like, wow. But now it's like, when you go to a GCW show, are you going to get shit thrown at you? Are you going to get heckled? Are you going to get fucking other things happen to you? And like, there's a point where like the cool, unique atmosphere is actually just like unsafe and kind of bullshitty.
Yeah, exactly. And this, like I said, it's going to take one too many instances of something happening. Whenever, like, because then they start seeing this, fighting fans and whatever, and if it's a work or if it's a shoot or whatever, and then it's going to take that wrong person that thinks.
I highly doubt it's a plant. GCW.
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying people
like,
assume they're debating one way or the other.
A lot of people said that.
But there's going to take that one guy that thinks that, fuck that guy, and I'm going to go, and then they're going to bring something, and then now we're talking stabbings, we're talking shootings, we're talking.
Man,
problems,
y'all remember that clip of Fatu knocking that motherfucker out? I'll watch that. One day I'm going to be rich, and in one of my mansions, it's going to be a room that plays that video clip nonstop.
Yeah, it was great. But we talked about it on here. Remember?
Yeah, that was wild.
We talked about it here in the pit.
That was wild. And honestly, we've covered shitty fans before, and like GCW has this problem. If you remember a couple years back when TOS was in the sand, Juan, you remember when they used to run those shows out in the sand outside in Atlantic City, and there was that fan behind RSP just like going with the air horn, and RSP was trying to cut a promo. And like, show going.
Yes, y'all talked about
and
that.
Like this fan snapped and RSP snapped, and like it had to be broken up, and it was such a momentum killer at the end of an otherwise great show. And the first thing that GCW does is come out and say, "Oh, that guy's a longtime fan. He's an original. He's a this. He's a that." Now RSP don't wear GCW no more.
Yeah,
wasn't it a similar situation with Greg Iron too?
Huh?
Wasn't it sort of similar situation with Gregory Iron?
Gregory Iron had a fan yank a whistle out of his mouth, and I know that this is some baby bullshit, but I'm just going to go a little bit step farther. For those of y'all that are not familiar with whistles, they have little pieces on the end of them specifically so you can bite them, and they don't come out of your mouth. It's a little grip.
You pull that, you
for
can
your teeth, so that refs can run with them and out without dropping them. So there you go. That's all I need is to be standing here, a pro wrestler, and get my 2 front teeth yanked out by some douchebag in LA because fans can't keep their hands to themselves. Like,
and someone smacked the shit out of that guy, didn't they?
Greg went after it. They said Greg, Greg's the nicest guy in the entire world. And if it had been anybody else, guy probably would have got beat up. But they defended that fan too. GCW's fan base is far too defended, and honestly, today the whole thing with G-Raver was a really good example. Some of that fan base attacked itself. Some of that fan base turned around and victim blamed. They weren't ready to lose G-Raver, and that just proves that I think the GCW fan base honestly cares more about that experience that they're getting. Some of them. I do want to shout out. There's a couple fans that are real diehard fans. And those guys, shout out to them. That's really cool. There's a dude on Twitter, Nick Dorito. He's a real solid fan, and he'll call it down the middle like it is. But there's a real toxic fan base in GCW, and they continue to kind of defend that, and it's turning a lot of people off to this product.
Yeah, and not justifiably so, though. I mean, it's just like, what the fuck, man?
Right. I think GCW's days are numbered. I know we've all said that a million times, but I think if you don't wake up and do business differently, then you're going to go down. And this is how Brett does business, guys. Yeah. I'm not trying to bullshit y'all. Once Brett has your money, that's what fucking counts, man.
Yeah, he's already on to the next show before the show's over.
Juan and I can attest, man. We did that company a solid, and we said we won't take a refund. We'll take collected tickets to the next one. They wouldn't even let us pay to upgrade those tickets. They made us sit in the bleachers, way up in the uptops. Tons of our messages went on red, shit like that.
So they could sell out tickets again.
Struggle to get their shit delivered to them. Yeah. It's fucky. It's a whole situation.
Fans, just go. Fans need to go to shows to watch shows. Don't go to get over. Go to watch the shows. Let the talent get over. And promoters need to help keep it that way. Don't enable. Don't encourage. It's just not the way to be, man. It's just.
I don't get that.
All it's going to do is end wrong. It's going to end wrong.
I don't
Something
get
bad's
crossing
gonna
that
happen.
line, like
Something bad's gonna happen, like really bad.
Yeah, I
That's the
just
only
don't
way.
understand it. You have fans at shows that even get heated with wrestlers, and it doesn't make any level of sense. Like you're provoking
Because you're trying to get over. They're trying to get over. They want to be part of the show.
Yeah, man. I just don't
It
get
drives me
it.
crazy. Like chant and be loud and like you're part of the show, yes,
Right.
but you're not part of the match. Like you're not in the match. You're not working that talent. You're there. You're part of the show. To like it, hate it, boo it, cheer it. You know what I'm saying? Like enjoy it. But you're trying to get in it and act like you're gonna swing on somebody or something, and then like it's just not gonna end well. It's not gonna end well for you. Period. Like, I mean, it's just not. So don't. So don't, especially at PPW shows. I would guarantee you don't want to do that. Because it'll end quickly.
Jeff said it. I wasn't gonna say it. Jeff said it. JoJo is always trying to get him a piece of somebody. Yeah. JoJo is always trying to get a piece of somebody at shows.
And ask JoJo who talks to him after a PPW show and threatens him, and then he hasn't done it again.
Man, I love it though. I love it.
He knows he can go to the line.
Him and Richie get into it at PPW was like watching two tiny people argue over who was going to get the tall chair, man. Yeah, I was like, damn, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. It's something, man. But he means well. Speaking of shows, though, and I wanted to actually say something in the beginning because we were talking about like local stuff. There's a show this weekend that's coming up that I want to talk about because I'm actually going to it. And we promoted their last show, and we haven't really given it a lot of attention. So I just kind of want to run through the matches real quick. Well, thank you.
Yeah, what's up, Quattro?
So we got Simply Lost Promotions is having a show in San Antonio March 5th at the VF. This will be their second show. I'm just gonna run through the matches. We're like super over on time. But we got Corvus versus Chino is one. We got Simply Lost it used to be Simply Luscious, which is the team of Veronica and Bryce and Scott. They're going to be going up against Byron Anthos and Amaris Blair. That's be a pretty awesome show. People got to know who Byron Anthos was at the last show, I believe. I think he worked, and everybody's like, "Who the fuck's this guy?" He's like, "Oh, it's pretty good." So yeah, he's back in a mixed tag match. I think the match that's going to steal the show possibly is this triple threat with Will Austin, XGN Blake, and Izzy James. I mean, holy shit. Like Izzy James is enough to know that like it's going to be a good match. If he's in it, it's going to be a good match. But then with those two other guys, I think that's going to be the show stealer. We talked about Drew Dredd earlier. He's going to be making at the return, but he's going to be facing Braxton Hunter. That's going to be a pretty hot contested match as well. I'm looking forward to all these matches, man. That's why I'm making the trip. I'm working that morning, driving up to the show, and then when it's done, driving back because I got to work the next day. Like I'm doing the round trip thing. We got Corey Constantine versus David Kidd. Big fan of David Kidd's work. It's going to be pretty awesome. And then we got Chris Marvel versus Casey Blackrose, which is teacher versus student kind of thing, because hybrid teacher versus hybrid coach founder or whatever versus one of the graduates. So the story writes itself on that one.
Yeah.
And then we got Dos Camachos versus Horsepower, and two of the top Texas teams rounding out the card there. So I think it's a pretty solid card. Like I said, I'll be there. Numero Dos will be there.
It's a $10 show at the VFW. It's a great venue. They've got good beer prices.
They split the profits with the VF as well, so money's going to the veterans. You know what I mean? Like
great cause.
It's a great thing. I mean, it's run by a veteran. I mean, Bryson was a Army vet, so yeah, it's go do a good thing, enjoy it, and have a good time. And you said, and good beer prices. So, and it's on a Saturday, so you don't have to worry about Sundays. You can recover on Sunday from the fun. But it is an early door and bell, I believe. The door's at 5, bell at 6. So get there early. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
See y'all there. So let's I think we're about ready to do the Mount Rushmore. So let's see if we have guys bouncing in and out. See if they're ready to come back in or not. As we can do the Mount Rushmore. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Before we said you were going to go first, but I got Melson and hers.
Okay.
Mount Rushmore, so I'm going to say hers first, and then we'll go to you. So this week's Mount Rushmore was tag teams. So pretty self-explanatory, and we as we go through them, it'll explain if there's any explanations needed. Mel's tag team Mount Rushmore is in no particular order: Hardy Boys, New Day, Lucha Bros, and the Hart Foundation.
Nice.
So that's pretty solid. I mean, all champions.
The Hart Foundation. I assume that you mean the British Bulldog and Natty and
Davey Boy Smith,
Tyson Kidd. That's my assumption by who she means.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know she was a big Natty fan like that. Shout out to her.
Not a Rushmore, but a good tag team. Great choice, Mel.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Yeah.
Y'all are jerks. All right,
For
go
sure.
numero tres.
So like I was saying, it was kind of hard for me because I love tag teams, but they kind of just blend together like a whole. They're all so good, so it's hard to pick. But I chose for old school one. I chose New Age Outlaws because as a kid, I fucking loved them.
You didn't know?
Yo, man, they were so fucking over me.
Tagline. People still
Yeah.
remember that. That's a good.
I know
one.
they're classic, Plus, ass man, I get it now. Back then, I didn't totally get it. Now I was like, yeah, I'm an ass man myself. But anyways, then next is the Dudley Boys. The Dudley Boys.
Did
just
you
'cause,
think
like-
it was? What did you mean when you didn't get it?
I don't know, dude. Listen, like the whole train.
He loves people.
I don't listen. The whole train. I didn't know what the fuck the whole train was. I was like,
or what the hell? Are you watching Seinfeld?
no, like the whole train. Like, listen, there's a whole bunch of stuff I didn't get. We didn't get a whole bunch back then. Like, come on. Anyways, but we're gonna go. So the Dudley Boys. I mean, they span so many damn promotions, and I mean,
One of the most
fucking
decorated teams in history.
Yep. And there's a reason for that, like, because they're just wonderful. They were controversial. They were everywhere. And what I love about it is they protected the finisher. Maybe I can count on my hand how many people have kicked out of the 3D. So that's big. It was just one time. Okay, I wasn't sure. I know definitely one time, but
I was gonna say once.
yeah. Well, just in case, but yeah, for what? But for sure, yeah, that's awesome. And then next, Young Bucks. I mean, come on, Young Bucks. I fucking love them. Yeah, they're the ones that got me watching Ring of Honor, and I mean, come on, all elite. Enough said. And this one's a little bit off the wall, but proud and powerful. Listen, being a Puerto Rican fan, we have not had very great representation.
Pick a name.
That's not even the best version of that.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
LAX
Yes, it is. Listen here. We don't have great representation at all for
LAX.
Puerto Ricans. See, LAX is fine. I loved LAX, but let me tell you, we don't have great representation for Puerto Ricans out there. These guys, they're straight New Rican. They're all about it. They're great wrestlers. They embrace it. It's me. It's like they're brash. They're from New York. I love them. Every time I see them, I give them a shout out because I'm like, finally, I see some other fucking Puerto Ricans out here. There's Danny Limelight. There's not many of us out there, but hey, I love them all. So that's why PNP. Plus, their name is great.
And I think of all the names they've had, that's the one they've had the least amount of time.
I know. I mean, but it doesn't matter.
Because
If I say LAX, then y'all are going to assume it's Homicide and Hernandez. So I'm just going to go with Proud and Powerful. Plus. So a lot of people don't realize this. The name is fucking brilliant because the PNP, the PNP, is actually a political group in Puerto Rico that are very much hated. So coming in as a heel group, calling themselves PNP, like I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. So I don't care what y'all say. They're my fellow New Yorkers. I fucking love them. They're throwing that double.
I have no problem with the team. I just have a problem referencing them as Pride and Powerful.
Because I love the name because the name is brilliant. Their name is brilliant. Plus,
Team
PNP did not use it very long.
Team Pazuzu.
All right.
I mean, yeah, Team Pazuzu is fine. Fine. You can call them whatever you want.
They're great
I just
people.
I like how Angel just like completely forgot Savio Vega and like he was like
very
tag team in WWF history, my man.
They were called the Boricuas, weren't they?
But they didn't run that long, and dude, have y'all gone back? Have y'all gone back and watched Boricuas? Have y'all gone back?
All right. That's enough. Moving on. That's enough of him today. All right, moving on.
Let me go next.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Mine are a little old school. Josh might actually be mad that he let me go next. So I also had the Hardy Boys just because like huge tag team. I can't take them off. I put the Steiner Brothers on mine just because like I got a Rick Steiner figure over on my shelf right now. Like huge Steiner Brothers fan growing up. I love the Bulldog, man. Great gimmick, great tag team, great finisher, just great feuds. Would have loved to see some really decent, like a good second wind run in the early 2000s, but whatever.
Rick Steiner's kid's doing all right at
that's true.
The other side.
That's true. I also put Edge and Christian on mine just because the number of tag team runs they had and the different brilliant ways they won the gimmicks.
They were silly and they were bad. They were the Brood. They
right. They've been back together. They've both been super successful apart together.
Amazing team.
It
Two Hall of Famers individually and as a team.
Yep. Right. I mean, just honestly, like what a great run. And this one is I hate Hulk Hogan and I hate ever putting him in any of my stuff, but the Mega Powers. Like you have to put the Mega Powers in the Mount Rushmore. Like that was and still is one of the we talk about identifiable storylines by people that aren't necessarily wrestling fans. The Mega Powers is a storyline that a lot of people that are not wrestling fans still remember. People still remember Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Miss Elizabeth in the middle. Like it was a great tag team that led to a great feud. Just the Mega Powers is something that's just big in wrestling, even though Hulk Hogan is a giant.
You remember the handshake? Yep. Everybody knows it. Very cool, man.
You got eyes for Elizabeth. I've seen them.
Yep. All right, I guess we'll go with we can go with JP next.
Yeah, I can go. So there's like no particular order. I went a little old school. I'm surprised no one mentioned it.
It's a Mount Rushmore, so
the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom.
Oh yeah,
top 4. I also got the Briscoes, Jay and Mark Briscoe, because I've grown up watching them since 2002 from Ring of Honor to where they are now. Obviously, I got the Hardys, just like everybody else does. And I threw a wild card because I mentioned in the chat I'm picking a team that no one's probably thought about at all. And that is the Miracle Violence Connection. Bam Bam Gordy and Steve Dr. Death Williams.
Yeah, they were
awesome. All Japan, NWA, WCW. Ran roughshod, and they had a pretty good feud with the Steiners too, like in the early '90s too, or somewhere like that. Yeah, but that's my top 4. So
very good.
JP, when we went to Southern Sickness, there was a guy in a wheelchair that ended up on a video, and he was like famous for being in the video or whatever. His Twitter handle was Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Nice.
I love that shit so much. Like when I saw that Twitter handle, I popped so hard.
That's awesome.
Very cool. All right, numero uno.
Man, mine, as I was listening to y'all mention y'all's favorite tag teams, I was just like, I thought I had 4 already that I knew for sure I wanted to be in my list. But as I keep hearing to everybody, I'm like, oh shit, what about this other tag team? And this one, and this one. So right, I'm Bryce.
It's always hard to go at the end. Yeah. It's always hard to go at the end. I'm screwed already because they've already done most of mine.
I'm brainstorming right now, and but one of the teams I have to choose, and no matter what, like my all-time favorite faction is Los Vipers. The original ones, which were Maniaco, Histeria, Abismo Negro, and Mosco de la Merced. Man, that was the best faction ever. That was my favorite. Very cool. Tag team, because the cool thing about them is that they could work well with each other. Like it doesn't matter if you pair Histeria with Maniaco or Maniaco with Mosco. Like it will always work out. Now my next tag team, and one of the reasons why I'm such a big fan of deathmatch wrestling is Leatherface and Jason from Wing. That's I always been a fan of horror, and whenever I found out about Jason and Leatherface, it like just blew my mind, and I
Yeah.
started, trying to find more matches of them and everything. That's when I found out all their matches at Wing and those crazy matches with other monsters, with the headhunters, with top names in Japan. It was just crazy. So that's another tag team.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite tag teams, or trio, is Los Hermanos Dinamita, like the OGs. Cien
Mhm.
Caras, Universo, and Máscara Año 2000. Man, that's my. I think it's a tie between Vipers and Los Hermanos Dinamita. And my last one is a faction made up by the best heel that wrestling has ever seen in the world, Eddie Guerrero and Love Machine, Los
Oh
Gringos
man,
Locos.
Los Ringos Locos. Yeah,
Man, what a tag team that was.
that's a good one. Wow, I think that's the biggest wild card of all of the Rushmores. Is that one right there? That's awesome.
That is a good one.
Hell yeah, that's a
Really
really
good
good one. Holy shit. Yeah, so my Mount Rushmore is already
Rest in
3/4
peace.
3/4 done. Because y'all have already said 3 of the teams. Because my number, I did this. It took me 30 seconds because these are my top 4 tag teams. To me, everyone else is. Well, I mean, it's just them 4. This was real easy for me. Legion of Doom, Road Warriors is number 1, my favorite tag team of all time. Dudley's just because of just their resume. Like, you can't argue their resume. They won everywhere, 30-something plus world championships. Their finisher is one of the best finishers in wrestling history. I think their single stuff is whatever, and then Bully Ray's kind of a shit. But the Dudleys together, from ECW all the way through and all the way around the world. I mean, they won titles everywhere. Steiner Brothers is, you knew you were probably taking that one from me when you said it. The legit thing about them, though, is like, and people said it so much that if wrestling wasn't scripted, Steiners would have been undefeated because they're like the 2 of the baddest dudes that have ever wrestled. They're both collegiate wrestlers at Michigan, all Americans, and legit just would fucking whip your ass. So that's what made it good. And then their matches against LLD, and then they wrestled the Dudleys in Japan, I think, back in the day too. Those matches are just amazing. And then my 4th one is the Freebirds.
Oh yeah,
because like they made the Freebird rule. Like, people still talk about the Freebird rule. New Day uses the Freebird rule. Like, it's because of the Freebirds. So I was like, I had to go all the way back to my beginnings of watching wrestling. And I mean, they were the team. And it's like, who's it going to be? Is it Michael and Buddy, or is it Buddy and Bam Bam? Is it Bam Bam and Michael? Like, what the fuck? It doesn't matter. They're still going to kick your ass.
yeah.
And talk shit to you the whole time they're doing it. You know what I mean? And then be cheating and win, Like, so it's just, yeah, I had to have the Freebirds in this. That's the only one that really was original, I guess, of my 4. Like I said, Freebird rules was because of the Freebirds. So I couldn't see a Mount Rushmore without them on it. So yeah, it was tough going last because y'all took
Wrong list.
Yeah.
Everybody did good stuff.
Midnight Express,
Yeah, I mean, there was so many honorable mentions, and I mean, we didn't have any in the comments today, but
I was shocked no one else said Harlem Heat. Harlem Heat was on my list.
Yeah, Harlem Heat, Fighters.
I mean, Powers of Pain, Demolition,
America's Most Wanted from TNA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
James Storm and they were both Cowboy. What was the other one?
James Storm and
Chris Harris.
Chris Harris, yeah. The Brainbusters, which are Arn and Tully, yeah.
Pit Bulls.
Von Erichs. I don't know. I didn't think the Von Erichs, though, because they were all individuals. They weren't really they didn't do a lot of tag teams. Whereas, the Freebirds, except for when they fought the Freebirds, it was always group. But I mean, it was Kerry and Kevin. You think of them individually. Like the Freebirds, you always thought it was 2 or 3 of them. They were never alone. So they're more of a faction than a tag team, I think. That's why I didn't put them, because otherwise they would have made my list, of course, because I love the Von Erichs. I mean, they're why I started watching wrestling. But the Brainbusters, that's a good one. Tully and Arn. Say that again?
Sting and Luger.
I thought about Sting and Luger, but
the matches they had with the Road Warriors, I think, still to this day, are some of the best ones I've ever seen. When they were just no sell everything. It's like pile driver, stand right back up, neck breaker, stand right back up. Like, they just all of them were just such badasses that no one ever it took like 10 minutes for anyone to even take any kind of fucking like sell anything, you know, because it was just like they're just so badass. It's like, oh, you did that, I'm gonna do this. So yeah, Sting and Luger was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many honorable mentions. But
Steve Austin and Brian Pillman,
the Hollywood Blondes. Yeah. Very cool. So what are we gonna do next week? This is always the awkward moment of the show when we really have no idea what we're doing next week. But we've been on a roll, getting up to a pretty good one.
What do you think? Got any suggestions?
Have we done Mount Rushmore of the best storylines?
Ooh.
We did feuds, but not
We
storylines.
did feuds. It's kind of like that. That's close. That's very similar, but
What about best stage setups?
Luchador masks? I don't know.
We did Lucha Masks. Have we done Lucha Masks yet?
we did Luchadors. We did Luchadors.
We did
Most of them are all
Let's
masks.
do Lucha Masks. Yes.
I'm down.
Lucha Masks. Or masks in general. Masks in general at all.
Yeah, why not masks in general?
So are we talking masked wrestlers or just a mask itself?
Both?
Well, it has to be a mask that they wore that would be recognizable. But yeah, if
No, I mean, it was like
a wrestler,
so like it was a badass wrestler that wore a mask. Or
Yeah.
we're talking about the mask being badass that also was on the wrestler.
either
Like
or.
Kane. Like
Either
Kane
or.
back
You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm being clear. Like, so like if they wore just a solid, plain, fucking boring mask, but they were a badass wrestler, they're worthy of being in the Rushmore.
Nah.
No, the
then.
mask. It's about the mask.
Like a
So
Kane.
let's
Does
just
Kane
say
count?
It's more about the mask.
mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I meant. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Because Kane, I mean, Undertaker wore a mask.
Rushmore of
Like, you know what I mean? Like Undertaker wore a mask. He's one of the fucking like he would make the Rushmore because he's a badass wrestler, like not because of his mask. It was
CM
fucking-
Punk wore a mask.
yeah,
once upon
Phantom
a
of the
time.
Opera bullshit. You know, that shitty fucking purple mask was crap. But he was a great wrestler. Okay, so we're gonna go by masks. Cool. I like how we always have to have the rules so we don't argue any more than normal. All right, well, and I guess that's how we're gonna end 100. 100 is in the books.
200, guys. We appreciate y'all.
Adios.
See ya.